Good morning. Welcome to Restoration. We are so happy that you are worshiping with us this Sunday.
And before we get started in the service, we just wanted to take one quick moment to recognize our awesome worship leader, Matt Na, who's been with us a few years, but it seems like he's been with us forever. It's his birthday today, so we wanted to say happy birthday, Matt.
We love you so much, Matt, and we hope that you enjoy this short little montage of just the smallest amount of love that we can show you today.
Hey, what's up, Matt? Happy birthday, man.
Hey, Matt. Happy birthday. I hope you're having an awesome day.
Hey, Matt. Happy birthday.
Hey, Matt. Happy birthday.
Matt, happy birthday. I hope you're having a fabulous day.
Hey, Maddie. Happy birthday to one of my most favorite people who brings joy and happiness to so many.
Matt Na, happy birthday. We are so grateful to celebrate you. I am grateful that God created you and that you are the amazing human that you are. Thanks, and we hope that you have an awesome day.
Thank you for your leadership, for your friendship, for bringing unity into worship and the experience of worship. So grateful that you joined our Restoration family and are leading our worship team.
You are extremely humble, and we are very, very lucky to have you as our worship leader. You lead by example. You love others and you serve others.
You have a presence that is beautiful and inspiring and uplifting and positive.
You've been there for me since I've met you, since the first day I've met you. And you spend a lot of your time blessing those around you.
You bring out the more of who I am by being who you are and by creating a safe and a welcoming space for me to be myself, and just by being an affirming person.
You constantly serve us so well, and you're a very wise yet humble person, and I know I'm better for it, and from our interactions I know how much wisdom you have, and you just constantly inspire us all to serve Christ a little better, so thanks for all you do. Happy birthday.
Thanks for everything. Happy birthday. Cheers.
Happy birthday, Matt. Hope you have a great day.
Hope you're having a great birthday. I love you, man. I miss you.
And so today we want to celebrate you, and so on behalf of me and my entire family, happy birthday.
Search the world, but it couldn't fill me. Man's empty praise and treasures that fade are never enough. Then you came along and put me back together. Every desire is now satisfied here in your love. Oh, there's nothing better than you. No, there's nothing better than you. Lord, there's nothing is better than you. Afraid to show you my weakness, my failures and flaws. Lord, you've seen them all, and you still call me friend. 'Cause the God of the mountain is the God of the valley. Not a place your mercy and grace won't find me again. Oh, there's nothing better than you. No, there's nothing better than you. Lord, there's nothing is better than you. Oh, there's nothing into armies. You turn seas into highways. You're the only one who can. You turn graves into gardens. You turn bones into armies. You turn seas into highways. You're the only one who can. You're the only one who can. You're the only one who
Welcome to Restoration Church. I'm Tim Ward. I'm the pastor of Restoration, and I can't tell you how grateful I am that you took the time to be here today. I want to tell you about some things that are going on in the life of the church that you can connect with no matter where you live. That's the beauty of being virtual. We're doing a Saving Grace Life Group, which is a really, really important thing. It's a 5-week group. You can sign up, and it looks at your finances and helps you take real practical transformation in your finances. You want to sign up for this group. It starts on February 15th, so sign up quickly. You want to do that. Second thing is next Sunday at 11 a.m. online, Zoom. You have to pre-sign up. We're having cocoa and conversation, just time to hang out and drink hot chocolate or whatever folks want to have together. So hopefully you'll join us for that. What I know is that it takes something interesting and different to get folks to connect with all that's going on. And we're about to enter a season called Lent, a season that is in preparation for Easter and preparation of our spirit and our souls. So I hope that you'll check out this video and that might encourage you to participate in some of those things. What I know is that y'all love my fly suits. You loved my Christmas suit. You loved my 6th birthday suit. And now here it is, my Easter suit. Because I am excited about spring. I am looking forward to it. So I am already claiming spring coming. I know we're in the middle of winter. But today I want to tell you about all the things that are happening between Lent, which is the season that starts on Ash Wednesday, and Easter Sunday. And we're going to give you another big gift, another package that helps you focus on that. So first thing first, and if I wear the suit, you're gonna remember, first thing first that's happening on the 7th and 14th of February. So that's coming up really soon. It starts today, if you're watching the video on the 7th, at 12 to 12:30 at Forest Edge Elementary School. You're gonna wanna drive over there either today or the 14th and pick up your bag. It's your connection bag. It's gonna have things that you need for Ash Wednesday. It's gonna have the book that you're gonna need that goes through our whole sermon series during this time. It's gonna have palms for Palm Sunday. It's gonna have things for Holy Thursday service. It's gonna have things for Easter Sunday. You do not want to miss this bag. It's gonna have things for our camp, and you're also gonna wanna drop off food for the South Lakes Food Pantry on those days because we want to give back during this season of Lent as well. Second thing, I want to encourage you, sign up for one of our life groups. If you're not already in a life group, you can do a life group with folks at Restoration. You can be anywhere because they're virtual, and it's going to go along with the sermon series that we're doing called Courage during this time. So sign up for a life group. Ash Wednesday service on the 17th. We have a really cool way to do Ash Wednesday this year. It's going to be our midweek Wednesday service. You can find it on our website, on YouTube, or on Facebook at 8 o'clock on the 17th. But don't miss the connection bag because it's got something really cool in it for you. We're going to have a spring break camp, spring into Easter spring break camp for families. If you have kids, if you know people with kids, you'll want to sign up for that by March 17th. It's going to be virtual, but it's going to be super cool. Holy Thursday, we're having a virtual supper, a dinner together as folks in the church. That'll be on Zoom, and we'll have a short worship service and have communion together at that. But you're going to want to get that connection bag because it has stuff in there for you. Good Friday, we have a service as well. Check that out. And then Easter Sunday, of course, we'll have a virtual service, and we're working on ways to maybe even do something outside in person. So there's a lot that's going on for Lent and for Easter. You don't want to miss it. If you want me to continue to wear super fly suits, make sure that you participate and connect. And I look forward to connecting with you over this season. So take some time right now. Let us know that you're here. Let us know that you're connected to Restoration. If you're brand new and you let us know, we're going to have a gift for you. So you'll see in this next video all the ways to do that, to let us know that you're here, but also to be generous to Restoration Church. This past week, we found out that there were families in our community specifically connected to Forest Edge elementary school that didn't have some of the food that they needed, some of the produce and things like that. As a result of your incredible generosity, we were able to give $6,000 so that families in the community could go to the grocery store and get the things that they need. So as you give this week, know that your generosity is transforming people's lives. Thank you for giving so that people can eat and have the things that they need.
My heart is breaking in a way I never thought it could. My mind is racing with the question, are you still good? Can you make something from the wreckage? Would you take this heart and make it whole again? Though the mountains may be moved into the sea, though the ground beneath might crumble and give way, I can hear my Father singing over me. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I've blamed myself, and if I'm honest, maybe I've blamed you too. But you would not forsake me, 'cause only good things come from you. Though the mountains may be moved into the sea, though the ground beneath might crumble and give way, I can hear my Father singing over me. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. From the beginning to the end, you're so close. You have never let me down, and you won't. In the valleys and the shadow, I know you're so close. You're so close. Though the mountains may be moved into the sea, though the ground beneath might crumble and give way, I can hear my Father singing over me. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. I'm going to be okay. Sage and the band just led us through that song. And in that space and with those lyrics, we were reminded that regardless of whether it's the mountains or the valleys, God, you're close. And when you're close, God, everything will be okay. As we just sang it and as we just listened to it, I'm going to invite us if we can pray that out as we prepare to hear the message from Tim. And so would you join me right now in this prayer? God, in the mountains and the valleys, God, you're so close. Regardless of how high we get or how low we are, You are so close. So draw us near to you today. In all the areas of our life, whether they be personal and private or social and public, whether they be mental, emotional, physical, political, and even financial, as this series we're in touches on. In all those areas and everywhere in between, God, may you be so close to us. Because when you're close to us, God, you reveal so many things that perhaps we didn't see before, like light in a dark room. That light dispels that darkness, and then we notice things that probably we didn't see before. Things that need to be tidied up and things that need to be expunged, or areas, Lord, that perhaps we've neglected. In all those spaces and in every place, may you be close to us. May you be so close that you fill our heart, our mind, that you may move our feet. And so as we ready ourselves to hear this message, speak to us and be close, knowing all the while that no matter how challenging things may get, we'll be okay because you're here. Thank you so much, God, for your grace and your mercy and your love. We pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
When I was 15 years old, I got my very first job. I made $4.25 an hour, and I worked at Subway. And man, I was the best sandwich artist in the world. Sandwich artist is somebody who makes sandwiches, not someone who draws them. My parents made a deal with me when I was 15 years old. They said, I tell you what, if you will save all of your money, put it in a savings account that you make at $4.25 an hour, at 10 hours a week or whatever I was working during school plus summers, they said, we'll pay for your gas and we'll pay for the needs that you have until you get to college. So we'll do all that work for you if you'll save. Now at the time I was like, okay, I'm sure my parents have a plan and that's a really good thing. What happened was, by the time I got to my first year of college, I had saved more than $8,000. So I saved enough, believe it or not, to pay for my entire first year of school and my computer. So think about that for a second. $4.25 an hour, which at some point might have gone to $4.75, and I was able to pay for an entire year of college and to pay for my computer. Now, the truth is, my parents may have spent more money on me than that during that season. But by doing that, I really respected and really thought a lot about my first year of college. I thought, man, I wrote the check for this. It's really, really important. So that time that I had put into saving taught me the importance of saving and the value of the thing that I got as a result of saving. For these next 2 weeks, we're going to continue to talk about money, finances, in our sermon series called Making Change. Last week, we talked about the importance of spending wisely. And this week, we're going to talk about saving intentionally. And next week, giving generously. I think that the way that we use our money is absolutely a spiritual issue. Jesus spends a lot of time in Scripture talking about it, about the importance of what power money has over us and how we use it and how we reduce our anxiety. I talked last week, part of the reason to create a spending plan is to reduce our anxiety so that money is not a master over us. And I think a savings plan does very, very similar things. I want to encourage you to think about how the way you use your finances transforms your life. Now, this is why we keep pushing this group called Saving Grace. I think you can spend 5 weeks with other people in our church, other people in the community, walking through thinking about your finances, and that's going to lead you to freedom. So I really hope that you'll think about it. Now, why is saving important? You may say, all right, Tim, I get spending, we got to think about that, and many people even get giving, but why is saving important? There are 2 things that you save for: the expected needs of the future and the unexpected needs of the future. And most people get this, but I want to take just a couple of minutes and walk through this a little bit. We save to meet expected future needs. I think most of us would agree that saving responsibly for the future is wise. It really does have a lot of wisdom in it. The car is going to break down. So saving for that, replacing that at some point, cars have a shelf life. Christmas comes, holidays come, birthdays come. It happens, taxes come. Every year they show up. Insurance bills show up. Things show up in the mail. Retirement is always closer than you think. And I don't care if you're 20 years old or if you're 70 years old. Retirement is always closer than we actually think about. So saving for these expected future needs is really, really important. But it's also true that we save for unexpected needs in the future. Right? Things that can't be scheduled but are bound to happen, right? Your transmission goes on your car, but your car still has more life in it. That's an expensive cost, right? Just a few weeks ago, our daughter was really sick and had to spend some time in the hospital. And even though we have insurance, we have great insurance, there are still lots of medical bills that are coming in. Had we not saved, that would have been a huge anxiety-producing time for us. We have insurance, but there are still big deductibles, co-pays, things that happen because of all the different surgeons and doctors that saw her. If we don't save for medical bills that are bound to happen, we put ourselves in this tough financial situation again where anxiety takes over. Finances can be crippling for people, especially unexpected needs that come up. They can be absolutely crippling. I mean, if it's not medical bills, it can be an HVAC system in your house, it can be your car, it can be. This is why it's important to have what they say is financial margin. And that's the difference of living paycheck to paycheck and having a little bit of gap or space. The space between what you spend, what you give, and ultimately what you need. Right? That's that space as time goes on. It's breathing room with your finances. If something unexpected comes up, it helps you so that you don't have to decide, are we going to eat this week or are we going to pay for this thing? That financial margin is really, really important. Now let's go back to medical bills for a second, because medical bills are often one of the number one reasons that people end up in really tough financial decisions. I spent many times talking to people who are without homes, and many times they talk about medical bills being the reason that got them there. If you have no savings, if you have no margins, then these sorts of expenses can literally tip you over. By the way, the typical amount that American households spent on unexpected expenses last year was about $2,500, and 2/3 of that was on medical care and cars. So I want you to think about that for a second. Unexpected money every year. How many people have $2,500 just sitting around to pay for unexpected bills? We save money to meet future expected needs and unexpected needs. Listen, the pandemic, most people didn't think they might be out of jobs for 3 to 6 months. Having that space and that financial margin is really important. When we spend the money, friends, it's gone. When we save it, it's still available. It's that simple. Now, I want to look at this concept from a biblical perspective, because you might say, Tim, you're not a money manager, you're not a financial planner, but you're sitting here talking to us about this saving. Let's look at it from a biblical perspective. I want to take us today to Luke 14, 28 to 33. So if you have a Bible, go ahead and take that out. Grab that. If you don't, that's okay too. You can see it on the screen or go online or however you want to access that. But Luke chapter 14 says, suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? For if you lay the foundation and are not able to finish it, everyone who sees it will ridicule you, saying, this person began to build and wasn't able to finish. Or suppose a king is about to go to war against another king. Won't he first sit down and consider whether he's able with 10,000 men to oppose the one coming against him with 20,000? If he's not able, he'll send a delegation where the other is still a long way off and will ask for terms of peace. In the same way, those of you who do not give up everything, you cannot be my disciples. Now, Jesus uses this idea of planning and savings to connect it to discipleship. It's a spiritual issue. Jesus talks about money and about preparation, both with building a tower, building a building, and going to war, as an act of preparation in discipleship. Where would Jesus have gotten this from? Why would Jesus have used this example? Why would Jesus have used what we might consider a worldly example? Well, look at the Proverbs. You can get through many of them and see this. Proverbs 6, go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. Another one, Proverbs 13, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, but a sinner's wealth is stored up for the righteous. Right? A good person leaves an inheritance. They plan. They think through their savings. Right? Proverbs 21, in the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil, but a foolish man devours all he has. The proverb says a fool, right? That's a terrible word to use. But a fool spends every dime of their money, while a wise person saves. It's wise to save. Jesus would have known these words. Now, I want to make a point of clarity here because I think this is really important, especially when I'm talking to people in our American culture. It's important to save, but to save enough. It's important not to move from saving to greedy or to hoarding. It's important not to be a hoarder. It's important to save enough. And how much is enough? What is a Christian's response to that question of how to be not too prepared, but prepared enough? How does God want me to live? I believe that every single one of us who call ourselves followers of Christ have to deal with that question. How much is enough? How much is too much? David Platt, in his book Radical, has a chapter entitled How Much is Enough? And in it, he asks these provocative questions. If we have savings, where's the line between responsible living and irresponsible hoarding? How does all of this affect the way we approach investments, retirement accounts, life insurance? How much is wise to save for potential future need when brothers and sisters around me are threatened by dire present need? Now, you may want David Platt's book to have this formula that tells you the answer. Right? You may want it to go through this way where you go, all right, I can say this is enough and this is enough and this is enough. But he turns it back to this conversation that it is a spiritual issue. We have to take the time to consider in our own discipleship, our own walk with Jesus, the answer to these questions. How much do I need to provide for my family, to care for others, to make sure that retirement can happen? And how much do I give? And we're going to get into that for next week. But that balance between saving and hoarding can be a really fine line. Saving is a spiritual issue. It's a conversation between you, your spouse, your family, God, your neighbor, your friends, your roommate, your financial advisor, but it's a spiritual issue. And we have a guy who attends Restoration Church. His name is Brian Thomas. He's done some financial planning training, and he is willing for anyone in our church, for no cost, he's not trying to get anything out of it, but to offer his services to help you, to walk with you, to sort of disciple you when it comes to your finances. He's willing to walk with you, and you'll see his email address here on the screen. I want to encourage you to write that down. It's bkthomas84@gmail.com. You'll see it on the screen. But I want to invite you to take him up on that. Do the group, Saving Grace. Take the time to walk through how you might do that in your own life. From a spiritual perspective, let the questions drive you to Jesus. And ask God, how do you want me to live? And see what answers you come up with. Now, some people say, I can't save. It's impossible, Tim. I live so on the margins. And for some people, I believe that's absolutely true. All right, we had a discussion in my life group this week. What about people who are in the midst of poverty? And the truth is, many of us are not there and we still don't save. Many of us are not there. So how do we actually get to a place where we can do this? Well, I think meet with Brian Thomas. I think do the Saving Grace group. But I also think you have to go back to that spending plan and think through how you're spending. First, I want to tell you about something called the Latte Factor. David Bach, in his book called The Automatic Millionaire, tells about a young lady named Kim who came to a financial seminar that he was doing. And she raises her hand and she goes, I'm sorry, but there's no way for me to save. I don't have any excess. And he said, all right, Kim, let's just walk through a day with you for a minute. She was a really young woman, just out of college. He said, let's walk through a day with you. He said, what's the first thing you do? And she said, well, usually I stop and get breakfast. I get a coffee. And he said, just black coffee? And she says, no, I get a latte. He said, how much is your latte? She said, well, it's $3.50. And he said, okay, you just get a latte? And she said, no, usually I get a non-fat muffin as well, and that's $1.50. Now, he's not talking about tax here, nothing else. He says, okay, so before you ever get to work, you spend $5 nearly every day. And she said, yeah. She was a little annoyed, but then she went on. At her morning break, she bought a juice drink usually, and that was about $4. Then a friend in the room reminded her that she always asked for a ginkgo booster, another 50 cents. Oh yeah, and a power bar for $1.75. And what he realized was before she ever got to lunch, she had spent $11 nearly every day that she went to work. Now he pulled out his calculator and he said, let's suppose not that you give all that up, but you save just $5 of that a day. $5 of that $11. So maybe you skip the latte and the muffin. That's $150 a month, $1,800 a year. He said, let's say that we invest that. Now, he takes a 10% return in the stock market. Not all of us get a 10% return, but he says, let's say we do that. And it was 50 years in the stock market. And she was 23, and he said, how much do you think you'll have by the time you're 65, by the time of retirement? And she said, I don't know, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000. He said, no, she would have $1.2 million. Friends, I want us to think about that. Maybe you don't get up and get a latte every morning. But what do you do? What's your latte factor? I've been thinking through what's mine. What's the thing that I do that keeps me from thinking about the ability to save and prepare and ultimately to be generous? As we figure out our latte factor, that will help us figure out the next step, how to get to savings. Here's the second way I think that we save. We have it happen automatically. We have it taken out of our account as we get paid, as we receive our funds. Have it come right out, just like I do, and Susan, as we do with our generosity. Have it taken out. If you wait until the end of the month with savings, guess what? There won't be anything left. Here's the interesting thing. Taxes, for example, they come out of most of our paychecks automatically. And frankly, as annoyed as we'd be if we actually figured out exactly how much they were, we don't even miss them. We don't account for them. What if we did the exact same thing with savings? We create a savings account with our bank and we automatically have an amount withdrawn from our checking right when we get our paycheck every month, as if it never came in. What if we automatically planned for that? Look, I'm not a financial advisor. In fact, we have those in our restoration community, and Brian's one of those folks that would help you because he's done some financial planning training. I want to encourage you, talk to your bank, talk to your financial advisor, talk to people in your life, your payroll person at work, whoever, about figuring out how to navigate yourself to a place where you can save more. I pray that you actually process this, that you think about it. In order to make transformation in our lives, we have to change. We have to change our habits. And ultimately, as Jesus described in that passage, I think this is all an act of discipleship. Now, that's not a word we use a lot, but growing in our understanding and our following of Jesus. It's an act of discipleship. Caring for your future and the future of your family, I believe, is a spiritual practice. I hope that you see this as helpful. But even more so than seeing it as helpful, I got several emails last week about how people were like, oh, really helpful sermon, thank you to think about this. I hope that you actually do it. I hope that you take this on as a spiritual issue. Think about your life and think about your savings. Next week, we're going to talk about generosity. Don't skip that one. Because I believe generosity is one of the most transformative things that we do in our lives. But in the meantime, I want to invite you to continue thinking about spending and about saving. Sign up for that Saving Grace course. It could change your life. Amen. So I'm not going to close out the service today with a benediction, a sending forth. Instead of that, I want to give you a couple of minutes of space. Don't drop off. Don't stop. I want to invite you to consider a couple of questions. How much is enough? What does God want me to do with my finances? And how does this all connect to my spiritual life? So there's going to be some music here. You're going to see these questions on the screen. But I pray for you and for me, that we would see how the usage of our finances is a spiritual experience, a spiritual practice, a spiritual issue, and that we might seek to have transformation in our lives. So don't go quite yet. Just be still and listen for what God might say in this moment.